Outdoor living spaces are a big deal here in the South, and maybe they are where you live too. But what they really do is increase your options for entertainment. I have 8 steps to show you how to make that happen.
Do you break into a sweat with even the thought of having company? I'm here to help. After trying just a few of my hosting tips, you'll be more than ready to say, come on over.
Recently, Jimmy and I improved our outdoor living space, which was so tiny. It was a little 10 by 10 deck that was rotting. We'd already tried to fix it and improve it, and it just wasn't working. And so we thought, you know what? Let's just blow it out into a true living and entertaining space. So we went from 10 by 10 to 500 square feet. That's right. It's actually another room, but outside. And in that process, we learned 8 important lessons, and I'm going to share those with you today. And stick around for the 8th one, because this was probably the most crucial lesson we learned. Step 1, choose a family project manager. Now, this needs to be a decisive person. It needs to be a savvy person. It needs to be an organized person. And while Jimmy and I are both those people, I'm here more. I can be in the space when the contractor comes. So I volunteered, me.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that's probably even more important, is it needs somebody who enjoys being the project manager. Don't put your grumpy person in charge. You'll regret that.
Not much of a house. Just right for not much of a donkey.
Step 2, know your budget. Yes, I said the B word, budget. You must have a budget in mind. Now, you might go slightly over that budget, you might go slightly under that budget, but you need at least a baseline. This is what we want to spend. And you might have more money than what you want to spend, but have that in mind, because when it's a new project, something you've never done before, you really don't know what all the factors are. So start somewhere. Don't just throw it out there. Well, what it costs, it costs, because you will be shocked what some of these projects cost as you get into them. Start with a budget, let your contractor know up front that's what you're working with, and then you can move forward from there. Step number 3, put together an idea board. Yes, these are beautiful things. So what I did, because it was suggested to me, was I found photos of things I really liked on other people's outdoor spaces. And it wasn't just decks. They were walkout spaces. They were screened-in porches. But if I liked what they did, if I liked the color, the shape, the style, I took a picture of it and I printed it off, and then I started grouping them on this board. So right over here, I did a whole thing on flooring. And I had several options because I wasn't sure that the builder could or would or wanted to do my number 1 idea. Turns out he did, but I had other options in case that did not work out. Then I did the stairs and what kind of stairs I needed and liked and was willing to accept. I did the grilling area. I did the ceiling area, the pergola, different ideas there. I did fans, different lighting options, railing options, the looks that I wanted. And because I had this idea board ready, that helped the contractor quote me on it because he knew what I was looking for. If I'm just throwing out, well, I'll just want a wood floor. Well, what kind of wood floor? Well, I just want a railing. Well, what kind of railing? Well, I'm thinking a pergola. Well, how big is that pergola? If I have photos of it on my idea board and I can show them, that gets us all started in one place. And then we can pick and choose from there. This is critical. And I loved it so much, I hung on to it.
Listen to me, I've got you. I won't let go.
Step number 4, research service providers. And by service providers, I mean builders, contractors. You might know somebody in your neighborhood who does this on the side. Well, do your research on that. Go see other things this guy has done before. You might have a friend or family member who specializes in outdoor spaces like we did, so he was second on our list. Or there might be a service provider who does nothing but outdoor spaces, and we talked to them too. So we thought 3 was a pretty good number in a range of people to find out if they could do what we wanted them to do.
Do you know how hard it is to find a really good carpenter? Besides, I think he's got a brother who's a plumber.
And when you interview these providers, you want to ask questions like, who pulls permits? Who talks to your HOA if you have one? Who's in charge of getting all the materials? You want to get that all covered ahead of time. We found out because you don't want to contract with this person and then find out, oh, guess what? You've got to go downtown and get the permits. You've got to talk to the HOA. You've got to buy the materials. You want to find that out ahead of time before you ever agree to work with that provider.
Get back to work!
Step number 5. Get written quotes with timing and dollar amounts. And these can be anywhere from 2 pages to several pages. If possible, get drawings. You want to get it all on paper. And here's why. If your contractor says, you know what, that's going to be more money. Well, this is what you quoted me. How much more money? Because things can change, but if you have the agreement in writing, it was all ready to refer to, and we use this document over and over again. It's a blessing to have it when you need it, and it's wonderful to have on hand when you're done to see how close you actually came. Number 6, buy all of your accessories before the contractor needs them. So for instance, we wanted a refrigerator out on the deck. So we bought that before it was needed. Why? Because the contractor needed to see how high it was and how wide it was and how deep it had to be into the outdoor kitchen area. It's too late once he's built that section to go, oh, you know what? We need another 1/2 inch. It's too late. If you have that on hand, he can measure it, you can take it out there and keep referring to it. We needed a ceiling fan. I ordered one, it was too big. That's what we found out along the way. Sent it back, got the right size. I ordered other things that could work, might not work, but I had time to interchange them while he was working. So by the time we got to electrical day, we had all of the things that needed to be electrified. All the lighting, the fans, everything. Even the string lighting out on the pergola had a special outlet designed just for that. You want to know where all your switches are, where all your outlets are. All of that is decided on electrical day. And if you don't have all the things that go with that, that's some trouble that you don't want to experience. So have all that ready to go. We just stored it all in another room down here in the house and let the contractor come and go and pull those items when he needed them. That way, there was no wasted time or money. Step 7, remain accessible when your project needs decisions or changes. Here's an example. We wanted a specific railing for our deck. It's up on a 2nd story pretty much, so we have to have a railing, and the one we wanted was not available. But it was time for the railing to be ordered so that it was ready for when it was going to be installed. So I had to make a snap decision on a different railing. We actually liked the 2nd railing better, so it was all a win-win. But if I had not been here, that would have caused a delay. And delays cost money. You want to have as many of those decisions made ahead of time, of course, but things happen during your project and you must be there. If you're not there, you must be nearby or approachable by phone or even email to make that decision when the contractor needs it. You do not want the cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching happening over your budget because you were not available. And finally, number 8, and this is maybe one of the most important parts of this kind of project. You need to be flexible. Now that was hard for me. It was pretty hard for me when I had this dream going of what I wanted it to look, feel, sound, smell, everything. I had it here, but I had to be flexible. Here's an example. I wanted a radius staircase. Oh, I wanted it to curve around to the fire pit. I wanted it to be lighted. Okay, well, that was going to cost $10,000. $10,000 for a radius staircase, and it was going to take an extra week, which contributed to that cost. So, did we have the money for a radius staircase? Yes. Was it in the budget? No. Could I be flexible? Yes. What the contractor said, I will build you a staircase that will be beautiful and you will love it. And he did. Here's another example. Jimmy wanted a second story fireplace. We just thought this would be awesome. In the winter, we can go out and curl up by the fireplace. $10,000 to stabilize that and to build it up. So, did we get the fireplace? No. Could we have afforded it? Yes. Was it in the budget? No. Nor was the timing of it in the budget. So we said no to the fireplace. We can always go back and add one if we want to, but we probably won't. We are going to enjoy our deck as it is and not worry about a fireplace. If you're on the fence about starting a home dream project for an outdoor space, no matter what it is, I hope these steps encourage you to at least get started in that process. So if you do decide to get that project started, be sure to share your own tips, add them to mine, and together we will create the most beautiful outdoor living space. And when you do that, toast us from your space to ours. You ready?
In 3, 2.
Outdoor.
Are you ready?
Or you might have a recommendation from a family. Oh, I cannot speak. Because you know why? Because I'm hungry. So we figured 3 was a round number. No. It is not a round number, divisible by itself only. We thought 3 was a prime number, which it is.
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.